You get your leads from 5 different places. You have your existing clients, you have your referrals by your existings, and then you have 3 others. And I don't know what those 3 are, and neither do you, right?
Welcome to Masters of Home Service, a podcast by Jobber. Each week we talk to successful home service entrepreneurs and experts in their field to learn how they built their company so we can make your business more profitable and more efficient. We're in Las Vegas at Blue Wire Studios, and today is one of my favorite topics. We're talking about marketing and advertising. Today we've got Andy Wines,
Hey.
owner of Camo Crew Junk Removal in Wisconsin. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And Donovan Questenberry. Donovan, so you own DIV Cleaning.
Correct.
And then you got Christmas lights too. You've
Correct.
got NC Christmas lights.
Correct.
And then Christmas light contractors.
Correct.
You guys love marketing, advertising. I do too. So let's get into it. It's gonna be a two-parter.
All right.
So
Awesome.
part 1 today is more of like marketing, advertising. And then part 2 will be like in-home sales, getting the client from start to the finish line. So I'm pretty excited about it. So first things, let's give our listeners tons of ways to get leads. So how you guys get leads for your businesses? Let's just start out. Let's just hammer it. Like, where are you guys getting leads from?
Google AdWords, Google SEO, networking events, seeing our trucks driving around the town. We don't use no newspapers, but some people still use newspapers. Mailers. What do you guys do down there in North Carolina?
The way I look at it is you got 2 ways of getting leads, right? One is like organically. Everybody says like advertising. What's the best form of advertising?
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth, right? And so what's the worst form of advertising?
Word of mouth.
Right? And so the like one of them is like word of mouth, a form of advertising. The other one is like spam. So we want to try every way that we're getting leads and every way we're doing our advertising. We would try to stay away from spam and try to do more of word of mouth. So it sounds a little cliche, but just be amazing. If you're going to do Google Ads, if you're going to go on a job site, if you're going to do dabble in branding, if you're going to do yard signs or whatever you're doing, just be amazing at it. And I think that's going to attract the type of customers you want. And the more we can do, like at the job site, if you can wear some branded content, if you can have, at a very least, like magnetic signs on a vehicle. Adam will laugh, but I have like, for the longest time, I just retired her this year, Old Bessie. Like
I loved Old Bessie.
Old Bessie was awesome. It was a $1,000 truck that made me like $3,000 a day. It is a beat up old truck, and like half the time I'd show up, there wasn't even a magnet on the side of it.
It was plain.
It was just a plain beat up old truck, and it's like barely running. Like it didn't leak oil. That's why it stayed in business.
Right.
But it was like 25 years old or something. But we would do things like at the job site, just try to touch as many neighbors like multiple times as we can. So wear a branded shirt, a yard sign when we're done with the job, do a 5-around type flyer. And the cool thing about that is that probably brings in most of our leads because we're already there. And we're already, like, that's our client avatar. So the neighbors also are the client avatar.
What'd you say? They're 5-around?
So like a 5-around, like a printed flyer, right?
Yeah.
Or just a business card, whatever.
Okay.
If you're doing, one house right here, you go to the left, you do the neighbors, you go across the street, do 1, 2, 3, and then you go to the right side. So that's a 5-around.
Huh.
Right, so
I've
we
never
do.
heard that before.
Yeah, and if we need more work, we'll do a 10-around. Or if we're in like a really good area that we're trying to do density, I might say, hey, look, this is a clip flyer area. Toss them out the window and have them land on the ground beside every mailbox.
I would say I think that's one of the most effective ways to get leads. It's also one of the hardest emotionally. People don't like knocking on doors. People don't like, it's a hard one, right? But it's the most effective. And that,
Yeah.
I mean, you did that for years, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, like you were rattling off things that cost money to get leads.
Yep.
Right. And I think that a lot of people that I help train in business and stuff like that, they're just starting out. Maybe they don't have a $10,000 a month budget or whatever. So I look at it as, getting leads or advertising, it costs you time or it costs you money.
Yep.
So in the beginning, when you got more time, you should have some of these like clip flyers, or you should have some things that are very low cost, but are high input on time, putting out yard signs, things like that. And then as your business is growing, you can start doing some of the Google AdWords or whatever, but this is your money one, this is your time one. And as you're getting busier, you switch it. So you're spending more money and less time, but the lead flow still comes in. So, for us, we're at the point that, like you said, organic Google.
Yep.
Right. So for me, that means like a Google review.
Yep.
A Google review is like a Google ad from now till the end of time.
Yep.
Right. So I will spend tons of money like with follow-up programs and just reaching out to clients, stuff like that after we've done a job, and it's like, please leave us a Google review. Like it means a lot to us.
Yeah, we integrated NiceJob with Jobber when 2 years ago, whenever it became available. And it's beautiful because all our customer data is there and it does the follow-up for us. We saw our reviews increase significantly. And to your point, it's a dollar investment, right? So we put this bolt-on service, into what we already do with Jobber. However, we're not doing the actual physical follow-up like we used to.
Right.
And also, we're, for us, it's all about environmental responsibility. And we were sending out tons of mailers and thank you cards and things like that. And I didn't like it because I'm like, okay, this could have been an email, like that adage. However, how do we get a high-touch, high-quality email? And by utilizing NiceJob, it does that. So you talked about customer referrals. That's a huge piece that a lot of times we're not capitalizing on because we're not retouching those same customers, right? They've already used you. I've realized in my time that people that use you and like you, they love to refer you to other people because they want other people to experience that same thing. One thing when you're talking about all these different ways, so realtors is a huge piece for us. Doing junk removal, when you sell your house, that's when you need to clear it out. And so we attend a lot of networking events with realtors, and I was at an event a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago now, and they put up 40 different ways as a realtor you can get leads. And they ran a study where they had people doing either the top 10 different ways or top 3 ways to get leads of the 40, right? 40 boiled down to 10, boiled down to 3. And what they realized was with the group that did 3 or the group that did 10, 83% of the leads came from 3 sources. Yep. So I tell people it's a rule of 5. You get your leads from 5 different places. You have your existing clients, you have your referrals by your existings, and then you have 3 others. And I don't know what those 3 are, and neither do you, right? You don't know what those 3 are. So what you need to do is go out and try different theories, right? Yard signs historically have never done it for us, and yet I know some people that have paid their mortgage off of yard signs.
Interesting, definitely.
There's a cool one in my area. It's Count Juncula. I mean, it's a vampire on a little yard sign. It looks like it is Count Juncula. I don't now look. There's like I even took a picture of it a couple months back. There was like 3 other junk removal companies signs like beside them. I don't remember what they are. Well, but it was Count Juncula. Like I remember that one. That one's awesome.
Look at your shirt versus my shirt, right?
Yeah.
My shirt, little logo in the back, kind of the standard home contractor, right? Yeah. You got like a jersey with a generic guy with a thumb up. Like you have to stand out. That's the thing about marketing and advertising. Where advertising is dollars applied to marketing. That's the way my brain works it, right? And when it comes to your marketing, you need to stand out within your industry. Because home services, until they've worked with your company, you can get lost in the shuffle real easy. So even something like that.
Check this out, right?
It
kind of looks like me, like holding a ladder like that.
Yeah. I mean,
funny thing is like the guy who made this logo for me, he like knocked it off and like sold it to like 5 other companies as well. So there's my face on like multiple companies out there. The way that I started out my business was just like flyers, door knocking. Golly, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of door knocking either because I don't like people knocking on my door. But when we're at a job, let's say we're going to be there all day and my trucks are going to be, blocking the street or something like that. When you go to the neighbor's house, you knock on the door and say, "Hey, ma'am, I just want to let you know, DIV Cleaning Service, we're going to be power washing all day, or we're going to be here for the next 2 or 3 hours. I don't know if you're trying to put your kids down for a nap. If anything needs to get moved, or if it gets too loud, like here's a business card, or feel free to just come over and let us know. Our goal is to make everybody happy, not inconvenience anybody. And we're going to be next door for a couple hours." And so I think there's a different approach between doing that, being genuine. Again, that's more of the word of mouth versus like, "Hey, we can clean your gutters, and if you want, and you don't leave till they tell you no 3 times. Like that's just not the way I like to do things.
It's no different than when we go door knock businesses. So I'll door knock businesses, and almost every business has no soliciting sign. So when I walk in, I'm never soliciting. Often when I'm walking into realtors, senior living facilities, I go in and I say, "Hey, what can I do to support your clients?" Now we have a mutual interest, right? Or I'll go into general contractors and say, "Hey, you guys look for subs," right? Because I know subs. And then maybe we're a good sub, maybe we're not. It's never, "Hey, I'm going to sell you a thing." It's always, "Hey, how can we partner to take care of this ultimate end user?" Now, if they're like, "Oh, hey, that's awesome. Oh, also, by the way, we have this back storage room that we've been avoiding for 6 months," right? And so this too, again, the barrier to entry can be the mindset. It can be that little no soliciting sign, or to your point, right? Are you giving value?
Value add. Yeah. Whatever you're doing, value add.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. I would say for me, I think a wrapped vehicle is one of the best ways you can spend $3,000 in the beginning. I know you don't.
I think I've
100%. I'll argue that 100%. The first,
Mr.
I've
Mr.
called
White
Adam
Truck.
like 3 times. "Dude, I love your new vehicle. Who do you use?" And then I do nothing with it. It took me like 13 years to get these shirts. My guys were like, here's the funny thing. Like why we started putting out yard signs is because we were in these sketchy $1,000 vehicles and everybody's wearing like hoodies and just looking not like this. Okay.
Yeah.
And so And we got so good at doing the work. Like, unfortunately, I started out my business thinking like cheaper's better. This is how much of a genius I was. I was like, I'm going to charge so little that even the DIY guys will hire us. And please don't do that. But with that, we couldn't afford all the branding. We couldn't afford all the good image. So we started putting out the yard signs so the neighbors would stop calling the cops on us.
Yeah.
So that's why we started doing it. And then it's like, oh yeah, by the way, people can see that and give us a call. But one day I will wrap it. You'd be proud of me though. I have lettering on the new van.
You're getting there.
So actually
You're
a logo and some lettering.
Because here's what happens. You want your clients to brag about who they hired that day.
Right.
So they're at the cocktail party the Saturday night, and you wouldn't believe who I hired to clean my windows.
Right.
Or get my junk removal done, right? Like they had uniforms, they had nice vehicles, they had iPads, they had professional guys, their shirts were tucked in, all these different things. Instead of like, they were okay. And there's a lot of window cleaners out there.
Oh, here's a cheap company you can call.
Right. And so like the uniform, all the branding makes your marketing message stronger, especially if your yard signs match. All of it's cohesive. It's a much better experience. I also think that Nextdoor, and you actually put me on a Nextdoor, Donovan, is for some people in certain markets, the app Nextdoor is tremendous.
Right.
It can be a miss also for it's kind of random, but some people might really blow up with Nextdoor.
Yep.
I personally don't want to be on Nextdoor because it's not really for me, but it's good for business.
No,
we've got a lot of leads from it.
It's great for business, and again, that's one of those low-cost things that you can do.
Yeah,
Another thing you can do is Facebook and Facebook groups, like the organic part, not just Facebook ads. And we do Facebook ads for our Christmas light company, and so we'll spend a lot of money on Facebook ads. But one thing that was really effective to us, and marketing, I will say this: it's all about imagination and being creative. And so one thing that we've done is we go into these Facebook groups, these local community groups, and you value add. You don't go in there and you don't spam it. Hey, I'm starting a new business. Here's a link to my website. Like that, nobody's going to interact with that. But if you add to the community and you work with like the purpose of it, so Nextdoor, if you're on there and you talk about the lost dog and you post photos and hey, I got this extra thing. I run a power washing company. One of my clients had an extra ladder, or we're retiring some of our old equipment. If you know anybody like young kids in the neighborhood trying to start up their own business or whatever, I'm happy to donate it. If you make a post like that on Nextdoor, you're going to get 1,000 leads. You hop on Nextdoor and be like, hey, I own DIV cleaning service and we can clean your house. You'll get 0.
Right.
So all these different platforms, it's about working with how that platform wants you to operate. I went in and I actually started a couple Facebook groups. I started one for my cleaning company. It's like Wake County Home Improvement or something like that. But what we did is I networked with junk removal company, an electrician, a painter, or whatever. I networked with 3 or 4 or 5 other business owners that we all committed to when somebody makes a post in that group asking for, hey, is somebody know a good painter? We would all go in there and we'd all recommend the painter. Like the 5 of us would immediately do that. And because we're friends on Facebook, we would all get notified when somebody interacts in that group. So then we'd jump in and we'd interact on that post. And so somebody would see like 5 or 6 people recommending the same person. When they ask for gutter cleaner,
That's a great idea.
They recommend me. Yeah. Now, here's the next level of that one that you can go even deeper. You can own the Facebook group. And you can limit what type of posts are made in that group. You can say business owners are not allowed to advertise except for under the pinned post on a Monday or something like that. And only homeowners are allowed to ask for referrals and things like that. And so if you own the group and you're approving every post, when somebody's like, hey, I need a junk removal company, you type up a direct message to them before you approve that post.
Yeah.
And so that's been something that's really awesome. And so long as you start that group with the intention of helping the community and then monetize it once it gets to a certain point, it's very effective, right? You don't want to monetize it from day one, but we did that with Christmas light contractors and it's turned into an 8-figure business for us.
Yeah. That's awesome. Let's take a quick moment to talk about our favorite things about Jobber. Why should someone listening today who's not using Jobber or any CRM use Jobber?
Track your leads, track your customers, track everything about them. You want to know inside and out your customer, and Jobber is the perfect place. Everything is there. You can put in all their contact information, how you found out about them, their notes. It's all there. Instead of being chicken scratch, you start to look professional from day one of your business.
Jobber focuses on what's most important in your business, right? Doing the work is worth $15 an hour. Getting the work done is worth $300 plus an hour. So my wife, she was helping run the business at the beginning, and she was putting in 10, 12-hour work days. The moment we switched to Jobber, her workday cut down to 2 hours. So it's that important for brand new people, and it also gives you a system to be accountable to so that as business owners, we're really busy. It helps us keep us on track.
It's not uncommon for people to say, are you a franchise? Because Jobber is so sleek and so good looking, they just assume I'm a part of a bigger network.
I thought that was just me because I was running an amazing business. But all right, I guess it's Jobber.
One day it'll be a franchise, just not yet.
Absolutely.
If you want to give Jobber a try, go to jobber.com/podcast deal to get an exclusive discount for new listeners. You won't regret it. How are you guys getting leads now? Because there is different. When you're doing 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month, 50,000 a month, 100,000 a month, how does it change in terms of your lead generation? So let's give the brand new guy out there who's listening a couple tips for what to do very first, and then we'll get to bigger companies.
If you're not working, your full-time job is to get work. And I think a lot of people fall short on that, right? If you only want to put in 8 hours a day, go get a job. Come work for me, right? And I'll pay you more than what you can do on 8 hours a day trying to hustle a bit for your own business, right? As a business owner, you need to put in a little bit more, right? You need to put in long nights, long weekends. And your job, if you don't have work on the schedule, is to go get work, right? So 8, 10 hours, 12 hours a day, you need to be out there hustling up work. I had a new guy I was teaching gutter cleaning in Greensboro. He's about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from me. And I was like, all right, you're getting 1,000 new clients your first year. And he fell short, but he got like 750. But how many people, have been in business for multiple years and didn't get, so I think rule of thumb is if you're not working, you need to put in 40, 50, 60 hours a week going and getting work, being creative, And then the next thing is you shouldn't be on Facebook in the middle of the day. You should be out where your customers are in the middle of the day, right? You do Facebook once it gets dark, once your customers are at home, right? So use your non-productive time to do the things that, like online marketing, making on your Google posts, your organic Google stuff. Like how many people don't ever post to Google? Like, they're like, what do you mean make a post? I was like, your Google Maps listing. Do you make posts 2 or 3, 4 times a week? They're like, no, I didn't know that was a thing, right? And then how many people have over 100 photos on their Google Maps listing? Very few. How many people fill out all the services like gutter cleaning? Well, no, you don't just put gutter cleaning. You put residential gutter cleaning. You put commercial gutter cleaning. You put HOA gutter cleaning. You put, gutter cleaning in Raleigh. You put apartment complex gutter cleaning. And then you fully fill out the description, right? And so I think something like less than 3% of the businesses do all that. But those are things that you can do at 10 o'clock at night in your underwear. You know what I mean? And you can use your non-productive time and turn it into getting leads. And just starting out, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, like you said earlier, you have more time than money when you're first starting out. So when we first started, we did not do Google AdWords, didn't do Facebook AdWords, nothing. And so what we did was, to your point, every day, basically, I would go out minimum. Now it's from 9 to 3, but before it was I'm pounding on doors. From 9 to 5, I'm pounding on doors. Between 11 and 1, when people are coming and going from lunch, I'm catching people. So it's you go after for us, we go after on the commercial side of the house. Those places where we know our people are going to be, property managers, realtors, senior living, things like that. However, we also go into hair salons, nail salons, because who's in a hair salon, nail salon? People with disposable income. What else do they do? They buy stuff and they put it in their house, right? Like right. It is that simple, right? And I've gone into hair salons, nail salons, places like that, and been basically booed out. Like, who are you and why are you here? And it sucks, and you feel stupid for about half a day, and you move on because eventually it will work. So when you're first scaling, it's all about what is the low cost, high impact touches. The other thing is, and we still do this to this day, go to every ribbon cutting you can. So I'm very involved in a lot of the chambers. The reason why I love going to ribbon cuttings is because often those are the ones the salespeople aren't at. Because they'll avoid the ribbon cuttings because they're like, oh, they just started. They're not ready to buy my tchotchke crap, insurance, banking, whatever, right? And so who ends up going to the ribbon cuttings are often a lot of business owners. And the other thing is it's little things, right? You're in their picture, right? So there's that post, hey, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of times they'll tag you and your business, look who represented. It's low cost, right? Ribbon cuttings are almost always free. They always have food. Almost every ribbon cutting is either 11 a.m. or 4 p.m., right? So you cover your meal for the time, right? And what ends up happening when I go to ribbon cuttings, for example, is it's not like a 90-minute thing. It's like 45 minutes of my time. And all I'm doing is talking to people the whole time. You hear the 5-minute speech. You take the picture. Not only that, but people, and I'm no different, people remember who was at your ribbon cutting. Who supported you before you were somebody? 5 years ago, we opened up our building. So we've been in business 7 years. We opened up our building 5 years ago. I had about 100 people at my ribbon cutting. I remember who was there, and or people remind me who was there. And so now they've invested, right? Business ownership is a marathon. It's not a sprint. They've invested now, just like I've invested now when it comes to ribbon cuttings for the long-term play.
That's a good point.
I think like marketing for a cause. If you're genuine about it, if you got a family member maybe died from breast cancer, we're in October, right? You can run a marketing for a cause campaign. and be genuine about it. Again, you just say, hey, this is something that we support. I think that it's a good thing. You network with other business owners or anything like that. And you say, this is something that as a company, we're taking 10 of our guys and we're going and we're going to put up Christmas lights for this family with this kid that has this disease, or maybe a Gold Star family in the military. They've lost a family member.
Yep.
So we do things like that. And then some people, they don't want to tell anybody. They want to like keep it a secret. My theory with that is that they've done like video series and stuff like that, like domestic abuse in public, like the candid camera type thing. And usually all it takes is one person to stand up, and then you got a flood of people who stand up in that situation. It's the same thing for a good cause. A lot of people, we see so many causes. Every business has a cause and stuff like that we kind of become numb to it. But when you're genuine and you say, hey, this is a really good cause that we support, it just takes one business to say, hey, we support this. And by the way, you don't have to spend, all this time trying to find a good cause. You can just help out as well. You can donate toys. You can cut their grass. You can clean up the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can organize an estate sale. You can rally the community behind you. And so as a brand new person, that you don't really have the ability to do that. You're so focused on getting the work done. But when you grow, you can start doing some of these other things. You got more time and you can spend more money on ads and things like that. What I would say in the beginning is you need to track it. You need
Yes.
every single person that calls, every single lead that comes in, you must. I'm okay with you trying a bit of everything so long as you're tracking and you know exactly where your leads are coming in. So that way when you are growing and you have more money than time and you're going to start putting money into it, you put the money into the things that have proven that work. And so for us, we know that organic Google, our free Google listing is our biggest return. I mean, absolutely the biggest return. So I will put thousands into getting that optimized and working properly and stuff like that. In the beginning, I'm putting a lot of time into it, but now we're putting money into getting reviews and adding good photos and things like that. So that's what I would say. As you grow, you need to track it when you're first starting out, so that as you're growing, you do more of what's already working.
Tracking allows you to steer the ship in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how much do you spend on advertising marketing in terms of percentage of revenue? What do you guys do?
5 to 10%.
Yeah, I mean, when I coach and consult, it's 20% when you're starting off, because you got to give yourself that runway where you don't pay yourself. So I say to people, if you're in true startup mode, 20% is where you want to be. When you want to be in growth mode, you're at 15%. When you want to be in sustainment mode, where you're growing, but we're talking growth of less than 10%. Right, you need to be at 10% as top line revenue, and then you see some businesses, they get to this sweet spot of 6 to 7% because they're really dialed in. But the key is, when we talked about this earlier, figure out your top three. There's science behind the number 3. It's simple to remember. Like for me, I know where my top 3 leads come from, and it's that 80-20 rule. When I look at new lead generation, my top 3 account for right around 80%. And so for me, I know it's Google, it is networking, and it's my truck.
Yeah.
So like you talk about wrapping trucks, that's one of the first things we ever did. Once you pay for it, right, that wrap's good for 5 years. You depreciate that over time in your head, and you're like, okay, it's cost me $100 a month. The truck's already moving, it's already rolling, right? Where else can we park it? What else can we do to best utilize that asset? I love what you said about Google, right? It's like one thing to have a good website, good to have SEO. What are you doing to habitually make that better?
Oh, when you're first starting out, don't pour $10,000 into a website.
No,
because
too much.
At least for
Get a
me,
landing
a
page,
website
one
is to
pager.
convert.
That's it.
The
correct.
website's it's not going to generate any business. What it is the people that you send there, you want it to convert to a lead. But you spend all your time and money getting people to go to your website. So
Right.
you can build a website in 10 minutes. And if you got $10,000, okay, spend $100 on your website. Spend $9,900 on getting people to go to the website.
Absolutely, yeah. And talking earlier, we talked about clients who are one of the best sources is clients who are already booked with you. So using like MailChimp and text messaging marketing, those are great channels too. Having your office person when the phone isn't ringing, making outbound phone calls.
Yep.
Hey, how's your house? Like we washed it last year. Is it ready for another one? As a matter of fact, it is. Here's my wallet. And so like there's things like that you can do that are free. Those calls are free.
Yep.
And a lot of them will say no,
Right.
but some of them will say yes. And that was a free $1,000 phone call. You just don't know which one it is.
everybody should be an ambassador for the business. Like that's an indicator if you got a good company culture or whatever. It's something that I personally struggle with, right? I'm very cognizant of company culture because that's not my go-to. My personality is more like GSD. Get blank done.
Stuff done.
Get stuff done. Yeah, get stuff done. That's my personality is GSD. But if you have good company culture, every single person that works for you is a little ambassador. So instead of you going out and doing networking events, you got 15, 20, 30 people going out and doing those networking events. So I think that, don't forget that people are important. And that you can turn everybody into an ambassador, your customers and your employees, your family members. Everybody should love and know that you are amazing. It goes back to whatever you're doing, be amazing. Yep. And if you're amazing, everybody wants to support that, right? And they want you to grow. There's people in my organization that sometimes they want the business to grow more than I do. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how lucky am I that you're on my team.
And any final thoughts from you?
KPIs. That's it. Track everything when you're first starting. Because I have some people that have 6 to 12 jobs they've done, and I'm like, all right, where'd you get them from? Well, I don't remember. Track them, because once you start doing 100 jobs a week, 1,000 jobs a quarter per se. Yeah, you got to know where those leads are coming from, because when you start putting that money in, it's an investment. You want that money to come back with friends.
Yeah. Well, and the elephant in the room is you got to have good CRM. Like the easiest way to do KPIs is to have good CRM. I think I have I got a goal of being the #1 referral for Jobber, right? I want to know that number. Who has the most referrals to Jobber? Because I want to be #1. I'm sitting right at about 100 right now. Okay?
That's pretty good.
But I tell everybody, look, spreadsheets don't work. Notepads and paper don't work because you're going to be up on a roof. You're writing on a napkin or something like that. You got the easiest thing to do as a growing business or starting out is be accountable to your CRM. Yep. Instead of writing it down on a notepad or whatever, well, you forgot to get the email. I get that you don't need it right now, but when you're doing your follow-up sequence or whatever, you need that email. So be accountable to your CRM.
These are great tips. I'm going to summarize them in 3 actionable steps. Number 1 is add value. No one's going to recommend you if you aren't good. So be the best that you can possibly be and make sure your team is doing the same thing. Number 2 is maximize your Google profile. 100 photos. Google profile needs to be built out completely. It's robust. Make it as full as you can. And you never know how many leads you'll get from those photos on Google. And the number 3 is track your KPIs. Your key performance indicators are super important. It helps you steer the boat so you can determine ultimately what lead sources work the best and which ones don't. Do the ones that work and don't do the ones that don't work. We're going to take a break for part 1 and then come back for part 2. But in the meanwhile, how do people find out more about you guys?
Best way to find me, LinkedIn, Andy Wines. Also, you can find me at www.andywines.com. Those are the best 2 places. I also put my phone number, my email address out there. It's readily available, and I love when people contact me with questions.
Awesome.
Probably the best way to get in touch with me is through Facebook. You can look me up directly or through Christmas Light Contractors.
Well, guys, thanks for being here today. Your business are crushing it. Thanks for what you're doing in your communities. You're living the American dream. I really appreciate it. Listeners appreciate it. So thanks a lot. We'll see you at part 2.
Cheers.